Again, we bring you lessons from excellent Wassce tutorials, and this lesson is about the Synoptic Gospels. And this Synoptic Gospels lesson will be on the call or selection of the first four disciples according to the Synoptic Gospels. As you know, we have Matthean account, we have the Markan account, and we have the Lucan account. In this particular account, Matthew and Mark gave a similar account, but the only difference will be at the ending part. But Luke takes this particular account to the next level or different story altogether. So normally when you watch Jesus' movie, the account of which this Jesus' movie was written from is always from the Lucan account. But let's see Matthew's point of view. Matthew reported that as Jesus walked by the Sea of Galilee, it simply means that Jesus was walking by the Sea of Galilee. Then as he was walking, he saw two brothers. In these two brothers he saw is Simon, that is also called Peter, and Andrew his brother. What were they doing? They were casting their net into the sea. Simply means they have gone for fishing, and the Bible declares that they were fishermen. That is why they were casting their net into the sea. Then Jesus called them, saying, "Follow me." And immediately they left and followed what? Jesus. Moving on a little further, or moving on from there, or when Jesus moved on again, he saw two other brothers too. These other brothers are James and John. James and John are sons of Zebedee according to the Bible. Then Jesus called them. What were they doing? They were mending their what? Nets in the boat together with their father Zebedee. Then Jesus called them, "Follow me." And immediately they left their father Zebedee and followed what? Jesus. This is how Matthew presented this account. First four disciples. The first one is Simon, and Simon also called Peter and Andrew his brother. They were casting their nets when Jesus saw them. Going on, we saw James and John, sons of Zebedee. They were mending their nets with their father Zebedee in the boat when Jesus called them. So this is how the account is presented according to Matthew. And the story is in Matthew chapter 4, verse number 18 to 22. Exactly as I've said from the Bible. Then from the Markan account, Mark reported similar account as Matthew, so it's totally the same. He said, as Jesus passed by the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, that is Peter and Andrew, casting their nets into the sea, for they were fishermen. Then Jesus called them, saying, "Follow me." And immediately they left and followed Jesus. Then going a little further, or when he moved on a little further, he saw two other brothers known as James and John, sons of Zebedee, with their father Zebedee in the boat. They were mending their nets. And Jesus called them, "Follow me." And immediately they left their father Zebedee in the boat with a hired servant. Hired servant. This account, hired servant, Matthew didn't present that account, but according to Mark, he said they left their father Zebedee in the boat with the hired servant, and they followed what? Jesus. So the only difference between Matthew account and the Markan account is the hired servant that Mark reported, of which Matthew didn't report. This is how the account unfolds. That story is also found in Mark chapter 1, verse number 16 to 20, respectively. Then, according to Luke's account on the call of the first three disciples, Luke reported the account that Jesus was preaching by the lake in Nazareth. It wasn't the Sea of Galilee, but rather the lake in Nazareth. So as Jesus was preaching there, a lot of crowd gathered about him. And to avoid stampede, or for people not to step on him and push each other, what he did was that he saw two empty boats, and immediately he entered one of the boats. And the boat in which Jesus entered was for Simon, which is also called Peter. So he asked him, probably these two empty boats, the reason why the boat was empty at the initial stage was that the fishermen were out, they were washing their net. So he asked him, push a little further from the ground. So he pushed a little further from the ground onto the sea, and Jesus sat in the boat to preach. So as he ceased speaking, or as he finished speaking, preaching to the people, then Jesus told Simon, "Let down your net into the deep for a catch." Then Simon replied, Jesus, "Master, we toiled all night and took nothing, but at your word, because you are the one telling me, at your word, I shall do this. I shall let down my net." So Peter let down the net. When they let down the net, he was surprised, amazed, astonished. They enclosed a great shoal of fish. Caught a great shoal of fish. Then they were surprised at the catch. Their net were breaking. So as their nets were breaking, Peter
beckoned upon his partners, that is James and John, in the other boat, and they came and they filled both boats. When they filled both boats, that they began to sink, Peter fell on his knees on Jesus and said, "Depart from me, for I'm a sinful man." Then Jesus told him that henceforth you will not be catching men, or you will not be catching fishes, but you will be catching what? Men. Henceforth you will be catching men. So also were the partners, that is James and what? John. Immediately they brought their boat to landing, or when the boat came to the shore, they left everything and followed Jesus. That is how Luke presented his account. So note the difference between the Synoptic Gospel, because inserting the question, either they make the account specified, or they make the account unspecified, or they tell you to write from the Synoptic point of view. From the Synoptic point of view, each of the accounts goes. When they specify the account, it means write from a particular book, like what they gave them in the year 2020. They quote, henceforth, you'll be catching men. This statement is not found in Mark, it's not found in Matthew, it's only found in what? Luke. So it simply means the account is specified, of which you are writing the local account. So if anything at all about the call, note Matthew, note Mark, and note the difference between each of them. So we will be back with more tips on excellent Wassce tutorial platform.